Hey, welcome to This Commerce Life, an unscripted podcast that focuses on the stories behind small and independent Canadian retail and Canadian CPG.
What we try and do is deliver or pull out the story of our guests and give them to you. You know, the good, the bad, the ugly of retail and CPG in Canada. We're filling a need because we think that retail is hard on the best of days, but it's also a wonderful, wonderful place to grow up and make your living.
We also think that the industry, nor the people that inadvertently find themselves in the industry, really understand the industry at all. They don't really understand what goes on behind the scenes.
So listen to us, Phil and Kenny. We'll unravel it for you. We'll give you the story. We'll give you the story behind the story.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Okay, so let's jump into this. So for podcast listeners, we are with Sylvia Bennett. She is with SURCH Foods. We're going to do things a little bit different today. So we actually, in all transparency, is we have met Sylvia. We've talked to Sylvia. I've talked to Sylvia at least once before, and then we did a podcast episode together. But we're redoing this one because I think that when I listened, I was trying to produce the episode. We took a long time to come into this, and I actually think that we love Sylvia, and you will love Sylvia, I promise. But what you need to do is actually love SURCH Foods first, and then love Sylvia. No, you'll get there, and you'll love both of them equally. But you just need to go. We need to go the other way around because we need to back into this one. So this is a slightly different episode than we would normally do, but I think it's actually important. So Sylvia built and runs SURCH Foods. That's SURCH Foods. If you're on YouTube, you'll see it. She's got her kind of cover page up there. But I met Sylvia through the CFIN guys, and I think what she's doing is super cool and actually very necessary. It's funny because I was talking to like a startup yesterday who has flavoring for a drink that she's building. Yet another drink, I know, but and it took her, I think, 4 to 6 weeks of talking to friends of friends of friends of friends of friends of friends who knew someone to go and find, the flavor that she wanted or people that made that flavor so that she could then go talk to them, right? So it took them like 6 weeks to go figure out who to talk to before they actually started the conversation of who to talk to. And so if you're a brand and you're thinking about this going, yeah, that conversation just makes me want to grind my teeth. You kind of want to stop what you're doing and kind of listen to this episode because that's one of the things that Sylvia is trying to solve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut up for a minute. I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself, and then for listeners and for Sylvia, we're going to attack this differently. I think we get into SURCH Foods right away. So Sylvia's going to introduce herself. We'll talk about SURCH, what it can do, and then eventually we'll back out and talk about why Sylvia built this thing. But I want to get there first because I think it's really important for our audience. So
Okay. So I'll explain what SURCH is.
Yeah.
So SURCH is a platform for the food industry. It's a place for B2B, for suppliers of products, ingredients, and packaging to be able to list their products where retail and food service buyers, as well as manufacturing, sourcing, and procurement can come in and shop the site. So it is a searchable search engine. People can list their profiles, and then buyers can quickly log in and enter the criteria that they need, and all the suppliers and products that they need will come up. So sounds so simple, but if you go into Google, people's either their websites aren't searchable or they just don't have their stuff listed. And so it's really difficult to be able to find stuff, right? And so we're providing a place where people can look at products, they can compare the specs, pricing if they want to list it, they can. But they can also message people right on the platform. So we are progressing things, of course. But the main thing people keep asking for is just give me a connection, give me someone to talk to and their actual email address, right? Or a phone number or something. So So that's the whole point in this. To be able to connect people, they can connect right on the platform. There's a messaging function for them to be able to connect with and start the conversation, share any documents that you would need. Unfortunately, for the food industry, you can't just, have a product, source an ingredient, and use it in your plant without all
Why,
the
Sylvia?
certificate. I know.
Why?
Without
Yeah.
all the certifications in place, right? So people can list whatever they want to in their profile, but they can also share it in conversations too. There's a file share section where you can
Mhm.
upload any documents that you don't want shared publicly, but you can share it with
Right.
customers that are asking you. So
Right.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, you go back to that example I just cited, someone you're looking for flavoring, she said, I kind of knew how to make drinks sort of, and then I had to go figure out, you know, one, I had to go through the hurdle of like figuring out what exactly does a flavor look like? Is it like a syrup? Is it a powder? Is it, how do I mix it? What do I need? And then she was like, so it took me a couple of weeks to figure that out. And then I had to figure out what those people are called because it's not clear. You
yeah,
know what I
it's
mean?
not
Like
intuitive.
how
It's
do
not
I,
intuitive.
how do I find that? Right? Because nobody ever goes, well, I need cherry syrup or I need like where do I find that? Right. And then she
Yeah,
said once I
there's so
sorted through all
many.
the consumer people, then I started to find people. But then, she said the first guy I called wanted me to buy a couple of thousand liters of she's
Yeah.
like,
But
what?
that's what they do, right?
You
That
know,
is sort of it. So you got to try to get through that
yeah.
BS.
So it took her, start to finish, 6 weeks, 8 weeks to find the right people to have that conversation. So,
Yeah.
coming into your tool, I was thinking that, this is something where she could go and be able to pop in and go, okay, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for all things cherry, maybe, or I'm looking for all things flavor. Like, how do I find people that are in the industry, so at least I cut the consumer bit out and I can at least start to sift through people that might be connected to my industry, products that
I
I'm
think the connectivity is really important. So that's funny. I
yeah,
had a call last night with a new mentee through forum, right?
awesome.
And she's got the cool idea, but it's I've heard this 50,000 times. Where are you getting your stuff? Well, I'm getting it through Costco right now, and we're going to change it, and we're going to get it somewhere else. And we think, okay, where are you going to go? Nobody, I can't find it. I can't find out who to go. And this is basic stuff. This is not complicated. But search engine is meant to be, type in peanut butter. It's going to take you to Costco, or it's going to take you to Superstore or Walmart or a grocer. And you think, no, not that peanut
Consumer
butter.
sizing.
Like
Yeah.
10 kg peanut butter industrial. What do you type? 10 kg peanut butter industrial?
Yeah.
Who knows where things take you? So anyway, the poor young woman was first struggling to find out where to search.
Hmm.
Once she starts searching, she goes, nobody's answering. Nobody's talking. I said,
Mhm.
it depends on who you're talking to. Like,
Mhm.
because I tell you right now, if I read your email, because I know how it's going to read without even knowing, this person maybe wants 100 kgs. What's 100 kgs? I can't. Like the people you're going to connect with when you finally find somebody on the internet to talk to is going to be what Phil said. Yeah, we can do that. We can send you a 53-foot, okay, or do you want a 40-foot? Like, what do you want? You're saying, no. How
Yeah.
about how about in a
Truck.
Volkswagen, just someone drop off what I need?
That's
So
the thing. Yeah. Yeah. So we are adding it in so people can put like different MOQs in and the MOQ then where to go for it. So, because sometimes if it's, I've had several conversations with people and like this is kind of growing as you talk to people and understand how it all works. Because
Mhm.
like it's different for everybody, right?
Mhm.
But for larger orders, people will often do it through their plant, right? They do it through their own warehousing.
Mhm.
But then sometimes they do it through distributors if it's a case or if it's a pallet, right? So it's like, so we're trying to connect people on if it's this amount, if you need, say, 100 kgs, then this is where you go. But if you need 10,000 kgs, then this is where you go. And then connecting people that way. So it's,
it's
unless there's
important.
another way, if there's another way, by all means, let me know. But yeah, we're just right there. So we're just trying to um,
I
make
think
it as
just
in,
thinking of that one is huge, in all honesty, just because it is the issue.
Mhm.
There is a massive difference in finding bulk peanut butter, bulk nuts, bulk salt, bulk whatever.
Yeah.
But bulk to whoever's on the receiving end is different. One guy's bulk is, yeah, I can do 25 kg bags or pails, no problem. And another person says, are you kidding me? It's a truck.
Yeah, or
It's
totes,
at the
Container.
right?
Yeah.
smallest.
Yeah.
It's not a container or a 53. I mean, what do you want? Two pails? Like two
Yeah.
pails, go to a store. It's that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's not that they're wrong or right. It's just you're trying to find someone who can help you with what you need, and I think that's the problem. And this last week, I don't know why. It's actually probably good that we redid this, is because that has been the week I sort of have had is people looking for quantities and not understanding who they're talking to isn't going to fit that quantity need because they're not built that way. One was too small, one was way too large.
Yeah.
Like, so where do I find stuff?
Yeah.
And they can't keep going to Costco and buy it. You got traceability is a problem. Like, you can't do this shit, man.
No,
You
you
gotta
just can't.
button
I
down.
mean, look, like forget all that stuff is, just from a marketability standpoint, is you've got a retailer who already makes margin on the product, and then you're going to try
I
and
get
make
Costco
margin
because at
on
least
top of
Costco's,
margin,
the
right?
structure feels a
I know,
little,
but
but still, it's a retailer.
fundamentally it's wrong, right? As this is not how
100%.
the industry works,
No,
and there's no guidance whatsoever, right? Like, there's
no.
no moment, because even with um either one of our brands that we're talking to, you connect with someone. Like, I think the other thing that probably is a good segue to is, Search Foods isn't just search for like ingredient. Like, we've spent a lot of time on ingredients, but
Yeah.
if you think about it, is you're also getting to a proper supplier, someone who would go, hang on a second. So you're asking for a syrup, but what you're describing to me isn't a syrup, that's a crystal or a powder. You shouldn't, I can ship it to you in a 20-foot container because everyone's asking for that, but actually you don't want a 20-foot container of syrup. That would be insane, right? Like, that's not how this works. You need a barrel, you need 18 barrels. Like,
Whatever.
there's kind of this, ingredients is one part, but then experts and suppliers and proper suppliers, proper manufacturing or co-man partners, right? Like, the site does a whole chunk of things, right? Like, it connects you with a whole chunk of people, I think.
That's the purpose, is to be able to connect people that way. If you
Yeah.
need, say, an expert in beverages, we've got one on there actually, Beth, who does beverages. So she does she'll teach you how to do sourcing. She'll teach you how to do all the traceability. But then she
Mm.
also teaches you how to develop the products too, right? So like if
Yeah.
you're doing a beverage, you need to be able to know, are you putting a dry crystal in there? Is it even going to dissolve? Do you need it to be liquid? Is
Right.
it water-based? Is it fat-based? Like
Yeah.
there's all these different things that people, if they're just getting started, they wouldn't know these things and
No,
they need
not at
someone to
all.
tell them,
Yeah.
right? Like
100%.
if you work for a company, you're kind of getting guided in there, right? But
Yeah.
if you're doing it on your own, it's there's just nowhere to find it, right?
No, totally. And you need that expert. We were talking about this again yesterday. That's great to do that when you're making 100 of something. When you're
Yeah.
scaling to 10,000,
Yeah.
it's not the same anymore.
It's
Like, and
not the
I
same.
said, then you need
Learning how.
probably a food scientist or an expert in
Yeah.
ingredient
Yeah.
You have to
or
be able to
both.
measure yield
Yeah.
and through the machinery that you're going to be using too, right? And how
Well,
much are you going to lose through that machinery, through the pipes? How is it going to mix
100%,
properly? Like it's going to be a
100%,
lot different using a KitchenAid mixer versus a large scale mixer too, right? Like you're
all
mixing
of it.
everything is totally different. So
An almond from the Southeast Asia might be very different than California. It might be different levels of water, and it's all fine. And you can make things all the same, but
yeah,
how do you know that?
yeah, that's a thing.
Like, do you know? And I think that's why. Like, I think when we first talked to you, actually, I'm kind of glad we're redoing this one. Is for that reason, is because I think it's just it's the complexity of. It's so easy to go to a store, you buy 10 ingredients, you come home, you make your pie or whatever you're making.
Yeah,
You can
one.
do that, and you
Yeah,
can still screw it up.
yeah,
Imagine now you're making 10,000,
yeah,
100,000, whatever the number is. Like, you kind of you need consistency in
oh yeah,
supply. You
oh
can't
yeah,
bounce around. You can't go to Safeway today and save on tomorrow and then run over to Superstore. You don't do that when you start doing shit like this. You want to have sort of the people that are giving you consistent stuff.
yeah. And traceability too is a big thing
Traceability is
too. If there's anything that
critical.
happens, you need to be able to trace it back to the supply chain. You need to be
Absolutely.
able to trust that. You need to be able to have, C of A's done on the ingredients so you
100%. How do
know.
you do that if you're buying it at Costco? What are you going to save all the bags with all
Well,
the lot numbers and pray to God that they share with you? I mean, and they would because they don't
Yeah,
want the issues either. But do you know what I mean? Like, how do you?
true.
It doesn't work.
No, no, it's true.
um, do you want to, because I think what might be useful for brands. So if you're listening to this on Spotify, this will be a little bit hard, or iTunes, but If you're on it might be a good time to flip over to YouTube. Do you mind giving us a tiny tour of the site?
Thank you. I was
I
going to
do
ask you the
want to
same.
get
Can
to
you
like
just show us
who
how to
you
do this?
are, but
Yeah.
I think all of this will come after, because we're on this topic. I think you showing us what the site looks like a little bit would be really helpful. Just so people kind of understand.
And we should probably walk through this, Phil, like verbally. So if someone isn't
Yeah.
on
Yeah, yeah,
those, you
yeah.
would go to, like Sylvia right now is going
So
to
you're going to
search
go, so while
foods.com.
Sylvia's, kind of setting up is you're going to go to Search Foods, so SURCH Foods.com. And that'll kind of take you to the website. Sylvia's got the page up now, which is kind of cool. Okay, so take it away, Sylvia.
Yep. So if you're a supplier and you log in and you want to enter your company page, then this is where you come. If you want to go into the search page, I can show you that after.
Mhm.
But yeah, if you're a supplier and you want to list your products, you come in, you log in, and you'll get a search a drop down here. You can enter your just a brief profile for yourself, just so that your name, your title, and your company
Mhm.
comes up. So that comes up in your messaging too.
So
So
this is an actual company someone's actually set up, right? This is an actual live
it's
thing.
my company. It's a pseudo company.
Okay.
It's just it's just
No,
for
no.
example, for
Now
people.
it's for real now.
Now it's
Sylvia
for real.
actually makes chocolate too, so
Yes, I love
yeah.
it.
Oh, okay. Well, this is, yeah, so
So,
this is legit.
search engine, connecting tool by day and chocolate maker by night is now what we've
Yep.
got. So, yeah.
100%. Okay.
The cool temperatures. Yep. So you go in and you create your company page, whichever you are, just choose say manufacturer. I got this toolbar at the bottom of my screen. I don't know how to get past that. So then you just kind of enter in for your information that's needed there. So
Mhm.
I've
So just
got,
like you would do anywhere, you would go, this is no different than going to Instagram, Facebook, any of the platform,
Mhm.
LinkedIn, you're making a profile,
yeah.
start putting the deets in to give
Yeah.
us an idea who the hell you are and how to find you, right? Or what I find you for,
Yeah. So you put a banner in, your logo, your company, the
right?
industry you're in, a little description,
Company
and then this shows up in
description,
your company page too. Any
right?
certifications that you've got. You can list where you are if you want, you don't have to. And then company website.
Mhm.
And then you can go in and start. So this is from the company side.
Mhm.
It looks like that then when the outside will see this side. So they see where it is, your description, and then your certifications and the products that you've got listed as
Right.
well. So then you can go and message them on the site, and then go back and forth on whatever questions that you might need. You can enter in more products. So I'll go back to you can enter in your products. So we try to make it as easy as possible, but we need it detailed too. So
Mhm.
the whole thing is that people need to be able to see what's, the relevant details for it. We put the GTIN in there, supplier code, company name, any product description that's relevant to it too. Kind of sell your product there, the usage of it, the flavors, everything else that's relevant, ingredients, allergens, product type, categories. So then when people are typing in chocolate, then it's coming up.
Mhm.
Any keywords that are relevant as well. Certifications for the product specifically and any serving size specifications there. So for cocoa, for example, you would put cacao content.
So,
Might be a good place to put in some tags around, whether you do small batches or not, right? So if you've got a founder who's, just starting out and wants to be able to get small quantities, that might actually pop for them as well,
I
right?
I
So,
would I would love to
yeah.
see MOQs. So I know, listen, okay, I'd love to talk to you, but your MOQs are, 1,000 kilos. I can't do 1,000 kilos.
Yeah, we've got MOQ here. So it's just a
Okay.
free text box you guys can
Right.
they can put in like if it's
Right.
we didn't want to put units in, but people can put in
Hmm.
what it is,
Hmm.
how it's stored, packaging as well,
Hmm.
quantity. You can put cost in if you're interested in doing that. But you know what it's like to do that, you're going to get bargained down. So, and then if you can do private label or co-packing, and then availability. So, who you're distributing with, where if it's available now or if it's seasonal, you can turn that on or off.
Hmm.
And then when it's going to be available again too. Distributed with, available at, so what stores are being sold in right now. Because if retailers are coming through too, and then any other
Right.
specs that can be that you're okay with showing to the public, just because. But yeah, so then save changes, and then it goes into the search section, and so it shows up You'll see your gallery images. We try to ask for an NFT in there just so that that's shown in there. Otherwise, you're not entering in all the separate data for it. And then people can see MOQ from there. It's good if you got a unit in. But ingredients, any other relevant details, packaging options, availability any other documents that they need, and then the certifications too. So
let me ask something. So I could get us all in trouble, like, because I'm not too sure how this all works. But so I'm the person I was last night, the person I was talking to last night. How do I know? How do I know? Like, do you vet these people? How do I know these are legit? How do I know that I can trust who's on the site? Like, how do I? Because again, it's when you're starting, especially if it's a startup. I mean, and you were just buying at Costco or Superstore or Walmart because those are probably your three least expensive retailers that you're probably going to buy stuff to make said ingredients. Like, how do I got to be able to come here and know that, okay, this is all legit.
yeah.
Like, these are legit companies.
So it's hard to vet them out. We have a
I
vetting
know.
system, and then they can, we'll get a little icon on there that says that they're certified, SURCH certified. We are trusting them. If there's any issues, obviously, like people can let me know if there's a supplier on here that isn't legit. We're going to be putting in like a Google review kind of thing for people so that if something does go bad, then we at least we know and people can complain as well if people aren't following through on whatever it is that they've committed to.
Right.
The people that I'm coming into contact with, you just kind of trust that that is who they are. But yeah, like I've been asked that too by someone else who said we can help you put together a verification system, and so we will be doing that later on down the road, like once we can get a bit more substantiated for it. But yeah, it's a good point because you just don't know, and if they're smaller suppliers too, and then where do you look otherwise to find out if they are
who they say they are.
trustable, right?
But I mean, I think part of this is like, so if you're listening to this, one is if you think of, and we'll get into kind of Sylvia's pathway too, is there is some expertise here. She's also, been to places like CFIN and BCFB, and so there is an element of she's done some of the networking pieces in the background already. So I think that without the verification process as it gets bigger, it's like everything else, right? Like on LinkedIn, you meet people, it's still your job to, trust but verify, right? So there isn't a
Always.
moment that you kind of go, well, no, Sylvia said so, it's all good, right? Like
Oh, no.
absolutely not. Like, come on, guys, right?
No.
Like, but I do think there is, like if you think of like how many people at CFIN and what they do, and then when you hear, kind of Sylvia's background is, there's kind of a
But
way
I think that's what I wanted, Phil.
to
That digression
correct,
is
correct, yeah,
okay, that's great. So you've got Sylvia comes on with these two idiots, and we're going to talk about this thing here
yeah,
and why. I think now, if we get to know Sylvia, you'll see why it's not as much of a worry
Yeah.
as it is. Because the question is legit in that. Yeah, I
yeah,
still need to
absolutely,
trust where
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going. So I got to know who you are. Like, why do I trust you? Like,
Yeah.
so Phil could go tomorrow and do a search for food ingredients. I don't know who Phil is, right? So again, now I know you, so I wasn't worried. But it's that now, Sylvia,
Yeah.
can you tell us a little bit about you? Where did you come from? How did you get
yeah, yeah.
here?
Sure,
Like,
sure.
why do I trust you? And we do trust you, but why?
Well, I've been in the food industry a long time. I started in my teens in a Sobeys store in the bakery. Worked there for a while and then went off to university, did food nutrition. Um, I kept working with Sobeys and then ended up transferring to their office to work in the test kitchen. And then started working with their sensory panel so all of their private label products go through a sensory panel. They used to. I don't think that they do anymore, but they used to all be sensory approved and benchmarked on a yearly basis, I believe, too, against whatever the national brand was. So we would work with a trained panel to just verify the product hadn't changed and that it was in line with whatever the national brand was.
Right.
So did that and then trained to be a product developer, developing products for Sobeys for their private label. So worked in a lot of categories there, grocery, bakery, produce, general merchandise. So got to see a lot of different stuff. And then I moved over to Walmart. I went to Walmart for 4 years. And I did mostly bakery there. And we got to set up the whole in-store bakery program and set up all the SOPs and all. Go into the stores and do videos and, set up all the new products and develop the products with suppliers too, and then have them come in and bake them in the stores to make sure they work. So yeah, so that was a really great experience. And then decided I wanted a more technical, hands-on role. I didn't want to be necessarily sitting on a computer looking at specs all day. So I moved over into research and development. And in bakery, it's kind of my wheelhouse. And so more recently I was working in a cookie plant, and that's kind of where I saw my need for search, actually. Probably back in about 2018. I was asking my sourcing manager, hey, where do I find angel food cakes? And he's like, there's not really anywhere to look for this. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I bought a car in Kijiji in 2012. How could there not be a somewhere for the food industry? And there wasn't. And so, fast forward to about 2023, I was working in research and development, and I'm watching my sourcing manager then frantically looking for ingredients that we can't produce without. And it's not like you can just go buy it at a store. Like, there's certifications that are needed, different checks that have to be in place. So I asked her, hey, where do you look for this stuff? And she's like, there's not really anywhere. But I got no business card. I know a guy. I'll call him. I'm like, okay, but we can't produce without this. This is crazy. And so I started watching, and on a daily basis, I'm seeing the need for this. So then she was about 60, so 40 years in the industry. And we start bringing in people that are new to Canada, that are new to the category, new to the products, and obviously new to the supplier base too. And we expect them to do the job. So on a daily basis, I'm seeing them, like, calling everyone they know and asking over the phone, hey, do you have this product? Instead of being able to just quickly search. So they're spending their time on the phone all the time. And so I'm like, this is so inefficient. So anyhow, so I started working on search. And yeah, my background is more R&D and product development, and developing products either for private label or for brands as well. So
Right.
certainly more
I think it's important to understand that once you get past what search is, because like I'm going to be probably the cynical of the two of Phil and I, more cynical.
Okay.
He's becoming a lot cynical too. As he gets older, he's much more cynical.
As I hang around Kenny,
It's
Sylvia,
always trying to figure out
sharing your screen so we can see you. That's
yeah.
okay. We
Can I
can
just
come
show
back
the
later.
expert network first?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So as I've been growing my network, I've come across a lot of people who do consulting, and they call themselves, consultant, mentor, coach, all sorts of different names. But if you're looking for, say, my experience is bakery and cookies, right? You're looking for a cookie consultant or a bakery consultant, unless
That's
you
awesome, though.
specifically name that, then it's not coming up in even in LinkedIn. So I started talking to people as I was adding them in, and I'm like, hey, where do you get business? And they're like, mostly word of mouth. I'm like, but you're on LinkedIn. And so I'm like, why isn't that working, right? And so I found they were talking about, you look on their profiles and they basically talk about what they've done, not necessarily about what they can do for people. And if you're looking for someone, you're not necessarily able to extrapolate, or the terminology, hey, they've done this, they can do this for me. So we put together the expert network, so people can come in and find, and then they can connect with people on the platform, the specific stuff they're looking for. So Beth is who I would talked about. She does beverages. She's out of the US. Phil's got a profile on here too.
Look at that guy.
Hey, look at Phil.
What the heck?
Big shot.
So you can message him on the platform. Here's a description about what he does, the industries that he works for, and then project types that he'd be taking on too. So we've added it a little bit more too. So we put in services section.
I like that.
And then you can put lots of visibility, like pictures and stuff. Everyone loves pictures. So here's mine for an example. Just put a banner in your personal. You can put a logo or your image there, and then there's a link to your LinkedIn and then the website you've got, a description, industries that you've worked in, engagement types, what you'd be willing to do, what your certifications are, and then services that you can offer. So if people are looking for commercialization, scale up, they can just go in and type that in, and then they'll be able to find that. Does everyone know what commercialization means? Hard to say.
Hard to say.
They Right? It's not a term actually, like working in private label, I hadn't heard the word commercialization until I got into R&D. It's not a term that you really use. It's interesting because it's kind of different language, but and there's other areas where that's obviously the case too. But so you just kind of put your what you can do for services. I just put mine in just as a pseudo stuff. I'm not looking for work. But any recommendations that you've got for
What?
people to I know. Okay. And then any clients, you can put logos in there that you've worked with,
Right.
project types, and just put in some the projects that you've done, put a description, and then an image of what you've done too.
Right.
So,
So I guess why I wanted to make sure we digressed into this is because I think people need to understand this was built by somebody within the industry out
yeah,
of need. This wasn't, it's because you know what I worry, because the cynical part we were talking about, this is where it becomes, I don't need a techie that developed a web page and a search engine because I'd be thinking, well, who cares? We can build
yeah,
search engines all day. The search
Mhm.
engine was built by someone who's in the industry who can't find shit, which is ridiculous because she's been
yeah,
in the industry making private label for large corporations. And if I asked her, where do I buy flour? And she's looking at me thinking, I know a guy. Well, we all know the guy, but I need the guy somewhere where we all can find the guy.
yeah.
Yeah,
And does he
whatever it
still
is,
work
you know what I
there?
mean?
That's a thing too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Drives you crazy,
Yeah.
right? Because it is so hard in our industry
Yeah.
to find shit.
No,
It's so
but
And it
stupid. It
should
even
be.
is.
Yeah.
even us, you get to a point where you go, "Well, I know a guy," and then somebody says, "Oh, but there's this other guy," and you're like, "Whoa, wait,
Oh, I
what
don't
are you
know that
talking
guy.
about?
Who's
Like,
that guy?
I only know one guy. Like,
I
I
like
don't have
two
that
guys.
phrase.
Who's the other guy?
What do I? What's the other guy do?" And they're like, "Well, I actually like this guy more than that guy," and you're like, "I holy
I
shit!
didn't
Like,
know
what
there
do
was
I
two
That's
do
a thing
now?"
guys.
too.
Right? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a
yeah,
thing
yeah,
too. I don't trust that guy. I like this guy. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's a big deal,
Anyway,
right? Like,
Yeah.
I think that's what people do need to understand is this is not something you weren't just a techie and thought, oh, we should do another search engine. Like this is because you're within the space and it
Yeah.
is brutally hard to find people. Like I'm always
yeah,
amazed that even when someone says they're buying at Costco, I'm thinking, you don't know anybody, do you? And
No.
that's not mean. I'm just you're thinking, shit, like how are you gonna like you can't even start thinking about scaling. You really shouldn't be doing a lot of retail stuff because your ingredients aren't going to be necessarily consistent. And that's not a shot to Costco. It's not Costco's business. That's not what they're designed to do per se.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, they supply some retailers and stuff, but you know what I mean? Like they're not meant for that. Like there's suppliers who sell flour, chocolate chips, salt, whatever the ingredient is. You got to find these people
Yeah.
and are hard to find. I mean, I know we're gonna have people listening just thinking, "Oh, bullshit!" You just go into Google and just type in bulk
sure,
sugar, and
knock
you
yourself out.
go
Right?
ahead, light
Yeah.
it
Really,
up. Let
actually
me know
knock
how it
yourself
goes.
out. Like,
Let me know
I
who
know
you
how
find.
it goes. You know how
Yeah.
it goes.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. People don't necessarily, some will list everything on their website, but they don't have the specs that you need. But
No,
you
get it
email
done.
people and it's like just info at whoever it is.
Right.
What's that? Where does that go to? Like, and if you're small, they're vetting you out and they're not going to reply. So
Well,
it's like,
that's what yesterday's call was. I know she's been vetted out
yeah,
because I know how she's probably even asking. It's those words you're thinking, oh no, this is way too. I already know this is going to be a nightmare.
yeah, yeah,
And because you just know that the question was worded in a way that, oh boy, this is gonna be a lot of work.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Hard to find. Yeah, yeah. And that's a challenge. How do people go from small to really
yeah,
small
yeah,
to small to medium and to large, right? I
yeah,
also found that, like a lot of the larger suppliers, they're loud, they're flashy, they've got lots of money for marketing, and they're the reps who are coming in to see you and that kind of thing. But they've paid for Google ads. But lots of other people, and they'll only serve large quantities too, right? But there's lots
yeah,
of other suppliers out there, and you need lots of different serving sizes, whatever the
100%,
quantities are that you need, right? So we're
100%.
trying to make it so it's a bit of a beast, truthfully, to tackle this, but we're trying to make it so that it is kind of work for the small, and then we can kind of get them to be bigger. So I know I worked with, and I'm sure you guys have too. You worked with some really great small suppliers. You worked with some really terrible large suppliers, right? And it happens. And so it just gets really political as they get bigger, right? And it's hard to get
Absolutely.
any attention from them too, right? So it's like, but you want to help the smaller guys. You want to give them the business. And so it's
yeah,
like
Yeah,
you just want to, like give them some publicity, give them some
yeah,
a space to be seen and to be
yeah,
heard, but also to be up with the bigger guys too. So
no, totally. I
yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
And we
So
need it. We need them all because to your point is the big guys aren't going to service a lot of small guys. That's not because they're mean. It's just
They're not set up.
There's no sense in it. That's not what they're designed to do anymore. They've gotten so big that they're not going to ship like a pallet. They're thinking, what pallet? What do you mean a pallet?
No.
A truck. I'll send you a truck. No pallet. Lots of
Yeah.
pallets.
Yeah. Yeah. 28 specifically.
I need 28 pallets, not one. There's no such thing as a one pallet deal.
No.
Well,
No.
you think of I think of we it was a while ago. We were talking to someone in packaging, and they're medium to large size, but he said that so often they get people who show up that are on the sustainable path and want to use green packaging. And he'll kind of say to them, look, like, one is, I'm small enough and I can take the time to tell you that it's not sustainable. Like, it depends on where you are in Canada, but for the most part, what you think is sustainable or is green isn't recyclable, for example, right? So it's not that the packaging isn't, but now you're paying, an extra 10, 15 cents a unit because you think you're doing something good for the planet, but actually you're not, right? Like, and those are things that you kind of go, when you first, packaging is a great one because when you first get into it, everyone has the same brown craft bags. It's actually how you can
The
spot,
label. Yeah.
oh, you're a small person, right? But at the
Yeah,
same time,
stickered.
you get no expertise on, hey, actually, like, that is the one that, the brown, with the whatever you think that puffs out at the bottom, so it makes it stand.
Yeah, I
And you
think
kind
that's
of go,
deadline.
I exactly know who you are and where you are in your stage of development, but it means that you got no coaching on, maybe there's a different package that's good for you, right? There's a jar maybe that should be, or a Tetra Pak or something or something or something or something.
Mhm.
Again, one of these things where you get to the big guys, they advertise a lot. So there are places you can go to get thousands of bags for really cheap. But is it the right answer for you? Probably not, right? Because like, nobody there is interested in talking to you. They want to, that's their business. They need to sell you things, right? It's your job to go out and research, right? So, yeah.
And will that packaging work on your production line too? And
I
whatever
was
it
going to
is.
say, and that's the other thing, because I had the person yesterday, we're getting our stuff in China. I said, will it work here? First off, is it even compliant? Like, make sure that, not for anything. I mean, we have different rules, different standards. So do the States, so does Asia, so does Europe. Just
Mhm.
make sure that the packaging is going to do what you want it to do in the country you're in.
Yeah.
Maybe it needs a vapor really, or whatever they call it, vapor locks. I don't know what the hell this thing. You're making the product. Make sure you know. Make sure the person you're buying from overseas knows. They may not say don't buy overseas, but you got to know what you're doing, right?
You have to know what to ask. That's the thing. You have to
Exactly. And
know what
most times we
certifications to
don't.
be asking for. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Hmm.
I
Something I
mean,
read in a
everybody
blog
just wants
article
to get
here.
the product on the shelf, right? That's
Yeah.
the whole thing. They're running to get stuff out there, which is great because I love the enthusiasm, but sometimes you just got to take a breath of air. Like, you want to do this type of ingredient, great. Where's it coming from? Is
Yeah.
it okay in our country? Might want to make sure before you get too far into it, right?
Hmm. Yeah. It definitely has to have its certifications to be able to use
I
it
think so.
in products. And then, I mean, you don't want to recall and then, yeah. Or any contamination or anything else too.
So
Yeah.
how's the network going? So I think that's the other thing that these networks, I think where, like, our community can help. Like, so if you're listening to this and you think this is kind of interesting, I feel like the next thing, it's a bit of a chicken egg, is people will go, well, let me go in and figure out if anybody's in there. Because if nobody's in there, I'll wait
Oh,
for people to be in there
Right.
before I come into it, right? But it's almost like you all need to just go and be a part of it in order for this, like, if you're going to wait, everybody's waiting.
yeah.
So, like, how's that going? Are you getting people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people are interested. I think obviously it's work, it's effort to put it in, and there's always,
Mm-hmm.
people are always short on help,
Mm-hmm.
right? But yeah, more people are in there. I'm advertising people too, so people can see. And I do get people messaging me, "Hey, how can you advertise my company?" And I'm like, "Well, you can get
Mm-hmm.
listed, and then I'll advertise you."
Yeah.
So it's like but it's good. People are seeing it. So people are certainly responsive. And when I talk to it's always the same story, same reaction as you guys. Oh yeah, it's so needed, right? And why don't we have it already, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's certainly people are receptive. I think people, it's like the adopters, early adopters kind of thing, right? I think that that's more what it is. So some people
Mhm.
are into startups and doing this kind of thing quick, and then other people wait a little bit longer. But the earlier the better, because when people are coming in, people are asking me for different suppliers too. I can't recommend you if you're not there and I don't know what you're doing, right? So it's easier if, you know, you're there now so that people can start finding you.
You do get for listeners, I can tell you that because I'm on there, and I go in every now and then to check for messages, but you'll see Sylvia, like, I don't know if you keep doing that or not, but like a little while ago you were like, hey, all you experts, like, I have this deluge of people looking for business planning. So if you've got that, make sure you update your tags, those sort of things,
Yeah.
which I think is, it's think about it for 1 second, is we're all in this for commerce and we're trying to get found, right? So
Hmm.
so one is getting, not waiting to get listed is a big deal, and then two is it's actually important, right? Because now you can actually get found without having to go door to door, if you will, right? So it's another spot for you to go. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and we're advertising the network too,
Mhm.
like the expert network as well as the suppliers and
Mhm.
their products. Trying to put a spotlight on it. Each week we do one supplier, we would do one
Mhm.
expert. I do have people asking me for different requests, and so it's easier if it's in their profiles and people can quickly just go in and search for that.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
specifically whatever it is that they're looking for. So we're setting up the email marketing too, so I can put experts on
Nice.
for new updates on it and
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
else that's
yeah,
relevant
yeah.
for people too and for suppliers too. So
Love
yeah.
it.
Because
Mm,
it's
that's
like
good.
I do have people asking me for different stuff and I try to reach out then, okay, well, but if I just don't have someone, then it's like I don't want to say that either. Like
Yeah,
you kind of want to
yeah,
help people and try to make
yeah,
that connection and reach out
Right.
to whoever you can,
yeah,
that can kind of fill that gap for them.
yeah.
So yeah.
Well, and it's supposed to be a network that can grow on its own, right? So
Yeah.
if you got to switchboard every single one, right? Like in the beginning, it's like,
Yeah.
listen, I
Bit
can
tedious.
help, right? But it's
Yeah.
kind of like getting stuff on a shelf, guys. Like you put stuff on a shelf, and the first store you go in and buy your own product. You encourage family to do it, right? Like you're kind of, but eventually it starts to take off on its own, right? So
I hope.
but to do that, we've got to do the work, right? Like I
Absolutely.
was getting distracted because I realized my profile's in there, but I didn't set up a This Commerce Life page.
Oh,
So I'm following the rabbit hole is
okay.
is what I think I've done is you
Good.
added a queue and I was like, oh, I didn't do that. I got to do that. And now I'm like, I should keep my eyes on Sylvia on one screen, but I've got the company pro.
Create it.
Okay, and I went to and sent the link to someone I know who's got
Yeah,
bulk and said, "Hey, this might be a really cool place for us to be because
that's right.
I don't."
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Um,
we're trying to bring everyone onto it. It's not going to be effective unless everyone is on it, right? So
yeah.
we're trying to bring, awareness to people about who's out there because people just
Yeah.
honestly they just don't know. I
Yeah,
got
we don't
one
know.
person, he always tests it by, I need to know who can give me black pepper. And it's like, okay, how many suppliers do you have of black pepper? It's like, well, so that's always, but it's like, yeah, like, and I just need to know a name and I'll call them myself and get going with
Right.
it, right? But it's like, it's just making that connection. So it's like, okay, how many can we get on to do black pepper,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah.
yeah, it's just a space to be able to advertise people and just kind of help them to grow. Like right now, when people are looking for ingredients, like you go to trade shows. Like I went to IFT 2 years ago in
Mhm.
R&D, and I had a list of like 30 different items, and like the show was massive. I couldn't even walk it in 3 days. Massive. And it's like, you can't think of all 30 items at every single booth, but
No.
no one advertises they don't have everything on their backdrop, right? You can't.
Mhm.
So it's like it's difficult to walk from booth to booth to booth. Some are more flashy than others, and then you get distracted with the more flashy or the loud ones, right? Or better samples or better giveaways. You
It's
never
all the
know, right?
rabbit holes you go down, and you
Oh
walk
yeah.
out thinking, "I don't know if I accomplished anything today." It was a
That's
good
the thing.
show, and it was interesting, but that was just I got 14,000 cards. I don't remember who the cards are
If
from. I don't even know I
if you're
stopped.
if you're like the two of us, that's what we do
Oh,
is, and then at some point you go, I know somebody, and then you sit around and kind of go, it's got to come to me. Like I met somebody
yeah.
at whatever show, and then
Yeah.
you know it could
Yeah.
take days, or you never remember actually. You
That
I
never
business
It's
know.
mostly
card,
the
unless
latter.
you write on it right away, what they can do for you, you're never and you can't do that
We
because
never
there's
remember.
No, you
tons
can't.
of people around. You can't find your pen. Like that's
Mhm.
just, it's not an easy thing to do. They do, have more apps and stuff for people to be able to, like, for trade shows, you can go in and make a note. I don't know. Like I do feel like so many people scan you, you never hear from them again because they're like, I'll scan you,
Never.
I'll reach out.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so it's off my plate. You'll reach out to me.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
you don't hear,
Yeah.
or maybe they get stuck in junk mail, right? So it's like, I
Yeah,
don't
who
know.
remembers?
There's no perfect way.
Yeah.
No.
Lots of good connections are made.
Yeah.
Is it perfect? No, there's no perfect system, but
There is a
so
perfect way. Go to Search Foods and
thank
plop in. Because again, if we just have a
Good.
place, at least a place that can satisfy most of it,
you.
whatever. I mean, I do think the industry just needs something like this. We got to figure, like, yeah, I mean, the I know a guy is great, but you got to know the guy who knows the guy. And a lot of times people might find us or find you, but otherwise they're asking people in the same position and they're all doing the same thing and it's not the right thing. There's Costco or something like you're thinking, no, you can't do that, guys.
There's more out there.
You,
Yeah.
you got to find the guy or
Yeah.
gal.
But
I mean, you
the
got to
thing is,
find that
people move
person.
jobs though. And like, one guy, I had a business card for like 5 different places that he worked at. I'm like, well, here's your whole career progression, right? But it's like people jump around, sales jumps around, right? People jump
Right.
around a lot. And R&D actually does jump around quite a bit too. Like
Mm.
I
it
think
just totally
most of it
depends on
probably
the sort.
does.
Yeah.
Right.
Now everyone I think is jumping around to whatever, try new different things and that kind of thing. But yeah. But I did find I would go to these big trade shows and you could never remember, okay, I need all 30 items. But it's like
No,
you get to one booth and you're tired and you're like, oh, I can't remember. I don't know. And like, like you can't go through your list of 30 items, right? And
it's
then
not
the
going to
next
work.
week you get back to work. And every single time this happened, every single time I traveled to a show, something would come across your desk that you could have found at that show if you had known. It's like, now
Right.
I gotta wait a year. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
because it's like their list
yeah.
isn't like there's a list of
Yeah.
suppliers in the show list, but it doesn't say specifically angel food cakes or cookie kits or
Yeah.
whatever it is that you needed or vanilla bean specs. Yeah. So
It'll be just so high level, just baking needs. And you're thinking,
yeah.
wow, really? Can you be a little bit more vague?
Yeah. Right?
Why didn't you just say stuff? Because
We got
I don't know
stuff,
how you're
call
talking.
us. Call every
Yeah,
single one. Yeah.
exactly. Or you go
It's
home
not
with a
fun.
stack of business cards like he does. Do you got that business card thing? Which one? Like, was it, give me a color or something? I don't, I got a stack. I don't know who these people are. I don't remember who I was talking to.
Yeah.
ABC company. What was that one? I don't know.
Are they specific? Yeah. And then the back is blank to even say what they even do, right? Yeah.
No, yeah.
It's hard. It's hard.
And that's doing it in person. Never mind trying to find people on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, so it's on your screen there, but for anyone listening to this, where do they go to find you?
So you can if you're a supplier, you can just log in and create a profile and start entering in your products. My
Okay.
email address is there too, Sylvia Bennett,
Okay.
Sylvia at searchfoods.com.
Yeah, and search is SURCH food.
SURCH, yeah.
SURCH.
Okay. So
Yeah.
just make sure, and really chicken and egg, right? So get in there because then you get found. It allows you to go in and start searching for things. Is there a cost to using the platform?
Yeah. So I'm trying to get to 100 suppliers before we start charging.
Okay.
So the purpose is that cost won't be a barrier to entry though, because we want small
So you want to
suppliers
fill
on
it.
there. And yeah, and so we want everyone on there. But also looking at what other marketing has cost, we wanted to make sure that we were less than, I won't specify what they are, but just to make sure that we were, affordable for people. So it's $300 for the year or $30 a month for suppliers to be able to list up to 20 products and they can have one user. If they want to list up to 200 products, they can do premium and it's $500 for the year and then they can have up to 5 users. So in the messaging, they can put in like if you want your QC in there, if you want your R&D in there, sourcing, sales, so you can have different roles from your company on there. And then if your customer has questions, they get an email and then you can go in and reply to them really quickly just to keep the ball rolling.
Okay. Okay. So pretty reasonable in terms of cost.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
Thank you for redoing this with us. We really appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah.
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 It's a good opportunity. I think we had more time to vet it out a little bit better.
Yeah, I think yeah. I mean, if you didn't catch the beginning, I did say that we had recorded, but we caught it on we actually ran out of time and then we caught it on the uptake, so we caught it on the back half of podcasts that, oh, wait, what do you do? And then there's kind of this, because we're a little slow at this,
Yeah.
the two of us are, oh, that's what it's for, right? But
Oh,
I just thought, this is one that, we'll put out ASAP because I just think this is what people are looking for at the
Yeah.
moment, and then, well, always. And then I just think this one can do everyone some good. So attacking it the other way around was helpful. So yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll
Awesome.
just say one last thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
The way it works is that it's probably most ideal for product manufacturers. They can list their products,
Mhm.
but then they can also be looking for ingredients and looking for
Mhm.
packaging.
Okay.
So it's the whole point is to bring everyone together in one place so that
Right.
even ingredient suppliers can be looking for packaging as well. But the product suppliers are probably the most beneficial just because they can be listing, but then also be able to go back and forth too and everything that they need. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Got
as well
it.
as find an expert or consultant or whoever else that they need
Yeah.
to, service
Yeah.
providers and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Awesome.
Cool.
Sylvia, thank you for doing this.
Thanks for doing
No
this again.
problem. Thanks
Yeah.
so much. It's good to see you
Thank
guys.
you. Yeah, you too. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.
Okay, good.
Better.
Good. I feel better about it because
Better.
I think this is one that, it's really like, look, guys, like there's a lot going on here, and then it's a big deal. So
Yeah. I think last time we probably spent just too much time. I mean, it's not too
we
much
did
time
spend,
doing us
rightly so,
talking
we
about
did
things
the
that,
origin story and the whole bit, but
which
in
is
this
great, but I really
case,
wanted the search engine part to
yeah,
be
it's really
more
important because
prevalent.
I just think this could be something really interesting for the industry. So it's, kind of getting to that as quick as we can, right? So
My call last night was literally this conversation
yeah,
because the
yeah,
person just didn't know where to find
yeah,
things or found things finally, but it was in the States. I thought, no, there's Canadian
yeah,
suppliers, not,
yeah,
whatever you
yeah,
shop where you want. I'd
yeah,
prefer to shop in Canada, but there's Canadian suppliers, but they didn't know. And then they said, well, people aren't getting back to me. I said, it's probably because the way you're talking in your text or written is, oh man, I'm not. This is a two container deal. Like, and container I mean like jars, not cans on the ocean.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So it's you got to get to the right people. Like, and I think it's amazing. 2026, and we still really have no great way to search for raw ingredients to
Nope,
make shit.
nope,
Like that's mind bending to me. But
yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
all good on the hood.
Good,
That's
good.
it. Thanks for
Okay,
listening,
that's
everybody.
it. Thanks for listening.